Hey friends! So unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you've seen the latest trend this winter, and that's hot cocoa bombs. It's so trendy actually that my son and I took a class on OutSchool to learn how to make them. They're really easy to make, they make a great inexpensive gift, and I know my nephews are gonna love them because they are hot cocoa connoisseurs. So I thought I might make some for them and show you guys how I do it. So I'm going to be making two varieties in this video. A milk chocolate bomb with hot cocoa and marshmallows inside, and a white chocolate bomb with white hot chocolate, marshmallows, and Rolo candies inside. So those are going to be kind of a white chocolate caramel version. And you can do all sorts of things. You can add peppermint if that's your thing. You can do with or without marshmallows. The combinations are endless. Anything you'd like in a regular mug of hot cocoa, I'm sure you could figure out how to put into these bombs. Let's show you how we do it. I'm using candy melts for these. You could also use regular chocolate bars, but I feel like since the candy melts are meant to melt, they're probably easier to use. This is completely optional. I just got some edible glitter and put it inside the molds before I put my melted candy into it, my melted chocolate, and I just thought it would make it look extra cute. I just put the candy melts in the microwave for about a minute total. I would take them out every 30 seconds or so and mix just to make sure that it wouldn't burn or scald. And I used about 6 ounces to a cup for every 6 bomb halves. You can see here, kind of blurry because the cup's in the way, that I was using the tiniest spatula ever to just kind of put all of the chocolate inside the molds, like every little bit, every little edge, and then I would go and make a second pass. So once I coated them once completely, I'd come back around and coat them a second time. The white chocolate was easier to work with because I could really tell if any red from the mold was peeking through. You obviously don't want any holes because then your cocoa mix and all your little fillings are going to spill out, but totally fine. You could always just go back and patch it up with more melted chocolate. I could have used a brush for this, but every time I used a brush, because this was actually my second time making them, I felt like the brush took off more chocolate than it left behind, and so I had a higher incidence of holes with the silicone brush than I did with the spatula. So it's up to you. Try it both ways, see what works best. So here's my first set with 2 passes of chocolate, no holes that I can see. In the class, they said that we should put our mold in the freezer for 5 minutes to harden. I found that I had better luck putting them in the fridge for 10 minutes. I guess low and slow helped them kind of solidify more so they were easier to work with. And as you can see, I've left my mold whole, so all 6 halves are together in one mold. But she suggested, the teacher suggested, that you cut them individually so that they would be easier to work with and you wouldn't accidentally hurt one while taking out another. I didn't have an issue with that, but in case you do, maybe that's something you could try. Now that I've set my first batch aside, I'm going to try real quick to make a second batch because I'm hoping to get as close to 6 entire bombs as possible when we're done here. Of course, you should always expect that some are going to break, and that's fine. You can just go ahead and snack on those. So I've got my second batch already unmolded, and I'm just going to show you guys I have both marshmallow lovers and white chocolate Swiss Miss. We've also got some Rolo candies here, and then for decoration I've got cookie icing, I've got green sugar, and I've got that edible glitter I used earlier. Right now I'm going to put a pan on low heat. I just want it just barely warm. We're going to use this to kind of melt down the seams a little bit, and this is going to help both even out the seams, and it's going to make the edges melty so that they'll adhere to one another. I'm using regular cupcake liners here. I thought that would be cute to kind of put them away, you know, make them like little bonbons and whatnot. You could also just use a very, very hot plate, like microwave a plate and use that. That's what they did in the class. When I tried it that way, I felt like the plate never really got hot enough to work. And if it had gotten that hot, I don't know if I'd want my son messing around with that. So I figured this is probably quicker. Let's just go ahead and do it this way. And as you can see, it's super simple. You literally are just going to roll it around a little bit, make those edges melty. You fill out that bottom half with whatever you're going to use. So I got my little Rolo candy, my marshmallows, and my cocoa mix, which you should have at the ready because you're going to want to work fast. And there's the second half, did the same thing, and now they are together. I'm using my finger to kind of cover up any seams and just make it as pretty as I possibly can. And that's it, we've got our first hot cocoa bomb. I'm gonna use some of this white cookie icing to make a pretty design on top, and this is also gonna help our edible glitter adhere to the top. Here I'm using the little green sprinkle sugar. Super cute, right? And very, very easy. You just have to be able to work fast, like I said, because you don't want that chocolate to solidify again. I mean, in this case, because it's candy melts, you could always just melt it again and keep trying, but the quicker you work, the easier it'll be in the end. And here's the milk chocolate bombs. Again, same concept. I'm just filling them up, the bottom half, after I've melted the seam a little bit. Then I'm gonna melt the top seam and boom, hot cocoa bomb. Super, super simple. And my son had a lot of fun making this with me the first time around.
Yeah. Marshmallows. Marshmallows! When you eat it, it's really good.
So there you go, friends. Super easy. If any of them crack when you're bringing them out of the mold, that's fine. You could always remelt them and try again, assuming you're using the candy melts like I did, or you can just go ahead and eat that shell. I won't tell. My nephews absolutely loved them. They were a huge hit with my parents, and my sister actually just wanted to eat them like bonbons. She's pregnant, so we'll give her a pass. Point is, they really were super easy, very inexpensive, and a lot of fun to make. So it's just wins overall. This would be a great gift idea for teachers, for family, pretty much anybody that likes a good mug of hot cocoa. You all know I'm a huge fan of semi-homemade things, using mixes and the like to make things a little easier on ourselves while still bringing that from scratch quality, and this is a great way to do that. Taking regular envelope hot cocoa and making it extra special. If you decide that you're gonna make these bombs, let me know. I'd love to hear how it works out for you. And I'd also love to hear any new flavor combinations you come up with. I wanna thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I hope you'll please give it a big thumbs up. I'd also love it if you'd subscribe and click that notification bell because I post at least 3 times a week and I wouldn't want you to miss a minute. Thanks so much again for watching. Bye!